Valija is a contemporary and unique boho chic brand that has 11 stores in Puerto Rico and 2 in Miami. Their customers are free-spirited women with a love for bohemian lifestyles around the ages of 16 to 60 plus. To stand out from mainstream fashion retailers, they provide their clients with boutique-style, eclectic products they wouldn't find elsewhere.
The service blueprint is divided into 3 main activities: the customer activity, the salesperson, and the support process activity. The salesperson is divided into 2 subdivisions: the visible and the invisible. The visible is when the customer can see what the salesperson is doing. The invisible is when the customer cannot see but know what the salesperson is doing. First part, the customer arrives at Valija store. The salesperson, the visible part, what you can see when you enter the store is that the salesperson greets the customer. The second part, the customer checks out everything in store. That has nothing to do with the salesperson or the support process. The customer selects the clothing piece to try on. The salesperson, the visual part, checks for inventory. When you ask for a clothing piece, the salesperson checks for it on the main floor. The support process checks inventory on the system. He checks on the system to see if they have it or not. The customer waits to be attended by a salesperson. While the customer waits, the salesperson, the invisible part, looks for the article if not found in main store. And the support process checks for inventory in the back room. After that, when the customer receives the clothing piece, the visible part of the salesperson brings the piece to the customer. That's what the salesperson do on that occasion, and there's nothing to do with the support process. When the customer tries the pieces on, the salesperson has nothing to do, and the support process nothing to do either. When the customer selects the pieces after he tries them on, what he wants, the salesperson and the support process has nothing to do. In the last one, when the customer is gonna do the purchase, the visual part of the salesperson initiate the payment process. The support process helps to make the transaction completed.
Valija's service experience begins the moment the client walks through the doors. The client then roams around the store, deciding which items to either take home or to try on. Selected items are then taken to the dressing room to try on. The client leaves wanted items on a separate rack and then proceeds to check out wanted items. Client pays at the cash register and leaves the store.
Here, we will show you in a more realistic way the process a client goes through when entering a store such as Valija. As you can see, the first thing to start this process is when the client decides to enter the Valija store. At first, she decides to go through all the store to see what's new or what she likes. This usually takes time since you want to take a good look to what the store is offering or if they have any specials. After she has looked at everything, she starts making the decision on what she will choose to try on. She looks at different styles of clothes, shoes, and accessories. Several minutes later, she decides on 2 pieces that she likes the most. This is when the employee comes into play. When the employee sees a client with clothes on their hand, they ask if they can put it in the fitting room. Here, she hands the clothes to the employee, where she is walked to the fitting room. The client receives a number which identifies the quantity of pieces she will be trying on and passes to the room. This time is crucial at a retail store because here is where the client will decide to buy or not to buy. At this example, she liked both of the pieces she tried on, so she will take them. The employee takes them and looks for them in the warehouse. This part is actually behind the scenes because the client will not see how the employee looks for the clothing. The client will wait at the cash register where she will be attended. After the employee looks for the pieces, she scans them and asks personal information to the client, like her phone number and email, to keep a register of Valija buyers. When the client pays, the employee gives her the receipt and a bag with the clothes. Here, you can see a Valija girl happy with her purchase and finishing an excellent process of a retail store.
Overproduction waste is very present in Valija. This waste is caused when the industry produces too many clothing of the same style. Having too much merchandise of the same style is bad because when the new merchandise comes in, the old collection tends to get stuck and it will not have the same value as before. When this happens, there are two options. The merchandise goes to sale or it goes to the store warehouse. This has a negative effect because it creates another waste called unnecessary stock. All the merchandise that is not on the sales floor because it does not sell or there is no space for it goes to the warehouse where it occupies space and therefore there is loss in sales. Also, every time the employee has to go to the warehouse to find a piece for a client, it takes time, which can also increase the client's wait time.
Another waste Valija suffers from is the rejects and defects. There are times when a piece of clothing comes damaged from the manufacturer, and that means the employees can put it on the sales floor. Since this happens, there will be loss on sales. Other times, even though the clothes came in good condition to sell, there can be situations where a person stains a shirt, breaks the zipper, or many other things that are not in our control.
The cause and effect diagram is a visualization tool for categorizing the potential causes of a problem in order to identify its root causes. A problem that can be present in Valija will be slow sales. So, we have brainstormed all the possible root causes based on the equipment or product, the people, methods, and materials. In the equipment or product, we have identified a broken fabric machine and a cloth malfunction. With the people, we have identified employees missing work, a slow flow of customers, and not enough employees on sales floor. In the methods, we have identified a slow transportation of inventory and poor employees' process schedule. And lastly, with the materials, we have identified not enough inventory on sales floor, no size available, and no merchandise on the back storage. This can all be possible causes of low sales. Now, all the managers and employees have to, in detail, go through all the possible causes and make an improvement in order to increase the sales.
Some recommendations for process improvements are to be prepared and have a contingency plan. Also, have the transportation delivery of inventory early in order to have it on time. And to reduce overproduction waste, they should have a better count of how much product they will sell as to not end up with unnecessary stock.